Hi, I'm Dr. Ann Jones, and if you're here, you're about to write an APA-style research paper. What I'm going to do is talk you through a paper written by a former student and discuss and share with you some of the important things that you want to make sure you accomplish in an APA-style paper and some of the errors that are often made. This is an example of a title page. You'll notice that there is a running head at the top with a page number. The running head is a shortened version of the title and is in all capital letters. It is placed flush left at the top of the page. The pagination begins on your title page and is flush right. The title of the paper, the student's name, and the University of Alaska is centered on the first page. The next page in an APA-style paper contains only the abstract. The abstract is a summary of the paper, is usually no more than 250 words. Because the abstract is considered a particular section of an APA-style paper, it is centered in the center of the page and is in bold type. You'll also notice that the abstract is not indented. So this is the first full page of an APA-style paper. You'll notice that we have the running head at the top with the pagination. We also have the title of the paper centered, but is not in bold type. Now we have a new section to our paper. We have the introduction section. So the word introduction is centered on the page and in bold type. Then we begin with an indentation for our first paragraph. This first paragraph has three interesting things that you need to be aware of when writing an APA-style paper. The first one is that after a period or full stop in a sentence, we use two spaces. So if you look at the first sentence, student behavior within the classroom setting has a potential to enrich or denigrate even the best teacher's lesson plans, period. There are two spaces before we type the word master. The next thing you'll want to be aware of is that when we use a series and have commas dividing the things in that series, in APA style, we use a comma after the last thing in the series before we use the word and. This is different than if you're used to working in MLA style. So you'll see in this sentence we have master teachers full of creativity and energy craft lesson plans with the intent to stimulate the minds of young learners, comma, provide them with experiences that make them crave further knowledge, comma, and then take this newfound information into the world of application. So that is something you need to be aware of, and you can also set your computer to check that for you. The last thing you'll notice in this paragraph is that there is not an extra space between the paragraphs. As I type the last sentence, what about the child who chooses to opt out, I simply hit enter or return and then indent the next paragraph. I do not hit enter or return twice. The other thing you've probably noticed already is that in APA, we try to write in the first person and in the present tense. As I come to the bottom of this page, I've started a new section. I'm going to start my literature review. So I write those words, literature review, center them, and put them in bold type. And remember, anytime that you write something into your paper that is not your original idea, you have to give credit to the person who wrote it and give them a citation. In this case, it's Reagan, 2009. One of the first things you'll see on this page is a citation to Smith and Bondi, 2007. In APA style, we do not say Smith and A&D Bondi. We use the and symbol. Further down this page, you'll see another set of citations that have some interesting things happening in them. You'll see that we have Epstein et al., which means Epstein and others. If there are more than two authors in a citation, we use the et al. Et al means and others. Et is a word in itself, meaning and. Al is an abbreviation for the Latin word others. So it's et, al, period, comma, and then the date. Also, when you have a group of different publications that you're using, you want to put them in alphabetical order, not chronological order. On this page, another APA style issue comes up. In APA style, the quotes go inside commas or periods. On this page, you'll see we've come to our method section. So we have written method in bold and centered it. The method and results sections are the only place in an APA style paper where you can use the past tense. It's always a good idea to try to use the present tense, but it often becomes difficult in this section. You'll also see that now we have subsections, and subsections are also in bold type, but they are left justified. In this case, the method has several subsections: participants, materials, procedure. You'll notice just by looking broadly at this page that there are not, you don't notice any extra spaces between the paragraphs that we talked about earlier, just a return and an indentation. And that's even true when we have a new section. It's just a return and then the word results is centered. Okay, noticing the lack of extra space between the paragraphs. When you come to the final sections of your paper, the conclusions and recommendations, that's when you should definitely switch back to the first person tense if you've been using a different tense. The last part of your paper, unless you have appendices or tables, will be your reference page. Again, it's a new section, so we're going to put the word references centered and in bold. You want to make sure that your references are separated from the rest of the paper by a page or section break so that they have their own space. Another thing you want to make sure is that if you've referenced something, check back that you actually used it as a citation, and also check that all your citations are listed on the reference page. Different kinds of references can be found in your APA manual or in Purdue OWL. One thing you'll notice also on this page is it looks like there's room for more information, but we don't ever want to split a reference. If I had tried to include the Reinke reference on this page, it would have been split. We want to keep our references whole and complete. I hope this information has been helpful to you, and if you have any other questions about APA style, check your APA reference manual, go to Purdue OWL, or ask your course instructor.